Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fun Manifesto. Welcome to a beautiful conversation, another brilliant conversation with Dr. JJ Sawyer. I'm super excited to share her with you all today. While we are working through this, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of what's going on in our world on Saturday. I will be performing a little soul session for you, so be sure that you tune in here at the Fun Manifesto. And then we also have Dina Alexanian again on Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. We are excited to have her as well. So I'm ready to launch into this conversation with you, Auntie J. Are you ready to launch into this conversation?
I'm ready.
I know you are. You always ready. That's what's up. Well, let's get to the business of it, shall we?
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I had a great week and got to hear from so many people that enjoyed the show last week. And so I'm hoping that they come again this week.
I'm sure. And you know, what's beautiful is that they can always check the live stream. So that is always also a blessing. All right, well, let's just launch in. I know that we need to recap on what we did last week. So let's give everybody a little bit of taste of what the conversation was last week. What did we do?
Well, we went over the Mirroring Your Vision, started the book on how I got this started and when I did this work and when I did this work with you. And then I start to go through step one.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, that's your favorite one, and that is commit to creating the life of your dreams.
Yes.
So what we did is we asked people to download the book. It's only 99 cents for the ebook, and to really look through these commitments. And so what we're doing is going to ask for your commitment tonight.
Yeah.
That's how we'll start.
Well, let's see who is in the stream. So we have my mama, we have Sharon Cravanis here in the stream, and we also have Chameleon in the stream. So I think 2 is a good number to start there. If you are willing to commit to transforming your life, you have to put your initials in the comments right now. Don't worry, we'll wait.
And even, you know what's really important too is the people that watch the replay, because a lot of people don't have this time slot available. Yeah. And so I was really happy to see how many people looked at the replay. And so we're not just going to ask the 2 that are with us today. We're going to ask everybody that watches the replay to commit. And what you're committing to is you're giving yourself permission to learn and grow. Yes. You're setting aside 2 hours to spend on this, completing the exercises at the end of each chapter. And that is so important that you do the steps in the order that they are written. It's a formula.
Yes, it is. I can attest to it. I'm living.
And then reflect on your learning with someone. That's right. Then you're going to reflect on what you're learning with someone else. Remember, I told you last week, there are people out there that really would love this work. And if you're hearing this now and you know they are, share the broadcast. Let them know what's happening so they can come and join us. And then tell somebody with who you trust. And so if you commit to those commitment statements, like I said, put in the chat your initials or put me.
They did it already.
Good.
I already ready. Look, blot out.
Oh, there you are, Chameleon. Okay. Oh, Sharon. Hi, Sharon. The mama of Jennifer. Hello.
They committed. That's awesome. Okay, so let's keep going. What's the next step?
The next step, remember, I told you about begin the journey with a song.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to listen to this song, but let me kind of set the stage. When I went to a conference and there was like 300 people in there, and you know, at conferences, they have keynote speakers.
Yes.
And this keynote speaker came out with a guitar. And so I thought she was going to be the opening act. I mean, not the opening act, but somebody to warm up, ready for the opening act, right? And then all of a sudden she began, which her name is Jana, she began to sing this song.
What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? And what would you ask if you knew you could do anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of the seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave?
Beautiful, beautiful. What words spoke to you? Those that are listening, what words spoke to you? And just kind of type in the chat. Just one. What's one word that spoke to you in that song?
You know, the word that comes to me besides brave, and it's not even a lyric that's in there, is confidence. You know, like I think that there's something really special and something super, super beautiful about just the confidence, that rootedness that shows up for you when you commit to yourself. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about last week, it doesn't matter at all whether or not you are scared. It's fine to be scared, but when you make that commitment to yourself, something happens. And then magically, you have a level of confidence and a willingness to try, you know, that maybe wasn't there before. So, like, you know, just reading or singing those lyrics, I'm reminded that that I have the ability, I have the confidence to do it. Sharon says, if I were brave. And Chameleon says, one? Is there one word? Okay, you can pick three. It's fine.
Oh yes, Chameleon. You're going to be asked to go back because you're going to have some homework, heart work this week, and so you're going to be asked to go back and sing the song, listen to the song, and then you'll be able to write all the words that you hear. But it was important that we hear just a little bit of it, so that you get a feel for what this song is all about. And then to have Jennifer, you know, with her talent to sing it, you know, I thought it would just be so much better for our audience. So thank you. That was beautiful, Jennifer.
You know,
Now
and you're
what I
a
want
critic, so I'm glad that I passed the test because I get the voice from that side of the family. It's a little known secret that Auntie J is a singer as well. Maybe one day we'll get a chance to get you to do it.
No. Not happening.
Okay, wait. So Sharon says you walk through life thinking you are, but then you can get confronted with the question and then realize. That's what came up for her. And then she says, what? Because it opens your mind before the question is even complete. What allows me to break out of the box? That is that bravery.
That's
Wow.
excellent. That's excellent. You know, I sat there and listened to her sing that song, and I promise you, she was looking at me. She was looking right at me. That song was for me. And from that day, now you guys, this happened way back in 2005. From that day on, when I would hear that song in my head, I would do something brave. Whether I was scared or not, I would do something brave. And so an example of it is one day I wanted to move to San Diego, and I went to my boss and I said, I want to live in San Diego and work from San Diego on my contract in Florida. I didn't have a contract in Denver, so why not? Right. So I was brave. I asked. And then when I left the office, I was scared to death because I had told somebody that could make it happen.
And guess what? Where do you live right now?
Huh?
Where do you live now?
And where do I live now? I tell you what, 4 months after asking my supervisor that question, I got laid off.
Come on, get here and testify. Go ahead.
I got laid off, and a month later, I was living in San Diego. But the big killer is this. 3 weeks later, my company called me back.
Yes.
So when you do something brave, it may come in a different way, but then it always is better than you could ever imagine.
And they had to come back and ask you to be even more dynamic than you were in your position before. I remember that whole experience.
Yes. It was awesome. So yes, you have to be brave. And so what I'm going to ask you to do now that people are feeling brave, I want you to be brave. Take your sheet of paper, put a line down the middle, and I want you to put the title professional, and then the title of personal.
Okay.
And on the personal side, I want you to write 6 things that you want personally.
6 things personally. Okay.
And then on the professional side, I want you to write 3 things that you want professionally. So 6 personal. And
I love that personally is always more important than the professionally. You taught me that hardcore when we were working through this book. It's like, it don't really matter what you're going to do if you don't do it all off in here. So
that's right.
Yes. Okay. So 6 professionally and 6 personally and 3 professionally.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want our viewers to do the same thing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask them a question, and then I'm going to want them to type it up in the chat.
Okay. So y'all better be ready because she a real teacher. So she's, here comes the pop quiz, y'all. Personally, the 6 things that I might want personally. So does that include houses and marriage and children and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. But not necessarily money, right?
Not money.
Not money. Okay.
Money comes later.
Money comes way later. Okay. So I can write on my magic list because I'm brave. I can say I want a house. I could say I want land. I could say I want to be married. I could say I want to be divorced. I could say I want personally, I want to take a trip. Yes.
Yes.
I could say I want to learn something, but it's not specific to my profession, right? So like if I wanted to learn basket weaving or something like that, right? I could do that. Okay. So personally, 6 things, y'all. We got a couple more people in the chat. We want to hear what are your 6 things that you want personally. And then professionally, still not money though, right, Auntie J? We're not talking about money yet, right?
No
okay.
money.
So three things that you want professionally, because it's not as important as your personally. So 3 things that you want professionally, and those professional things can be like, I want a promotion. Yeah. Is that one? Okay. Professionally, it could be what else, Auntie J? Like
you want to be an author.
Okay.
You want to be a worldwide singer.
Yes, ma'am. It's true.
You want to be a professor at a university.
Okay.
Those are the professional ones.
Okay.
And so when you guys are ready in the chat, just write 1 personal one that you put on that list.
No pressure. You ain't got to have the whole 6 for everybody. But don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Right. Make sure that you do it because when you write things down, man, word becomes flesh. Later, we'll show you on my magic board that I did with Auntie J. I tell you what, don't sit up here and cheat yourself. Make sure that you write those 6 things down that are personal and those 3 things down that are professional. And then I see y'all in the chat. Come on here now. Tell us something personal and something professional that you would like to see manifest. Let's go. A blissful marriage, says Chameleon. Ashe.
Oh, a blissful marriage. That's okay. Beautiful.
Yes. Be clear. I love it. She was like, she didn't just say, I want to be married. She said, I want to be blissfully married.
That's right. And see, if I would work with a Chameleon, then she would tell me, what does that feel like? And what does that look like?
Ashe. What does that feel like? What does that look like? Awesome. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to share with us? Blissful marriage. What else? Well, I can tell you that personally, I want to be in tip-top health. I think that this time of this pandemic has been really powerful for me because I am keenly aware that, should you ever find yourself ill, you got to be healthy enough to fight it off. So that's been coming up a lot for me lately is I really want to be healthy,
My personal one right now is I really want to have my home painted inside. I want to change the colors.
Nice.
And when I first mirrored my home, I wanted to feel hugged. And I
Mm.
created that hug, with the darker colors on the
Yeah.
wall, those things. And now I feel really pretty bright. So I kind of want to go a little bright now, like aqua and rose. And
Yeah.
so that's one of my personal ones.
Let's see. She says, Auntie, I cannot share what blissful looks and feels like in a public forum.
Well, don't worry. I'm not going to do that with you because but there's no way. Because in a professional what I want to do is work with people to actually do each step so that they can tell me what's blissful.
Yeah, I think what she's trying to say is that it might not be PG-13. You know what I mean?
You know what? If she wants it, then
Hey,
she can have it.
Ashe. Sharon says, be fearless.
Be.
Personally, she wants to be fearless. I love
Hmm.
that. It's awesome.
I love that too. And then the question I would ask: so, what does that look like?
Yeah.
And what does that feel like?
Yeah. Most importantly, what does it feel like?
What does it feel like?
Okay. So let's keep pushing.
All right. Well, as we go, many of you have already downloaded your book. And so you're not going to go through every step with me. I'm going to have you go back. And over this week, I want you to go back to step 1 and start all the way through to step 5.
Yes.
Because now you're going to listen to the song. We started with the song. You're going to write down the words that you hear from the song. You're going to write down your list and see the next step from that list is you're going to have to put them in order of importance. You see, and then you're going to have to move on and write a statement. And so you're going to have to sit quietly and do a little every day. I know that you committed to 2 hours. And a lot of times when you start to do this work, you're not going to finish the book in 2 hours, but you're going to at least work on some things for 2 hours. And before you know it, those 2 hours are over with.
Yeah.
The one thing I really want to share is please do not skip a step. Let me give you an example. In every step, there is a YouTube video I want you to watch. And sometimes people will go onto the YouTube channel and they'll say, okay, which are all the YouTube videos do I need to watch? Okay, now that I'm here, I'll just go ahead and watch them all at the same time. Well, remember, this is a formula. And so it's meant to go in this order because it opens your heart bigger and bigger every step you go. So that when you get ready to do your aluminum foil and you get ready to put that on a mirror, you're clear about what you want. So I'm just going to ask that in the next 48 hours, at least make a step towards doing the work. And by next Tuesday night, have it completed.
You know what's really awesome too? There are two things that come to my mind when you were just speaking. One is the 48-hour rule.
Mhm.
When you say something out loud, when you make an intention, when you say, I'm brave, okay, I'm going to take a step in my bravery, the universe comes back to meet you. Right. So if you say one thing that you want towards bravery, if you want a blissful marriage, Chameleon, I'll be interested to know in the next 48 hours, even if it's not that you meet that person or choose that person or whatever that thing is, but more that you find an entertaining meme that reminds you of what it really feels like to be blissfully married. Whatever that thing is, I've just noticed that when I am intentional, that something shows up. Something shows up in those 48 hours and says, you can do it, keep going. There's inspiration there that's really, really powerful. And I love that. The other thing that comes up for me, Auntie J, is I love going through this process with you because it always seems simple, right? But like making bread, it's kind of simple, right? You follow the instructions and it always seems like, are you sure? If I listen to this song and write these words down, this is gonna be useful. Are you sure, lady? Are you sure? But I did it the first time because you're my auntie, and so I had to do what you said. And let's be honest, right? Because you're my auntie, and I have to do what you said. And I needed that. I knew I needed something, so I was willing to try anything at that stage in my life. The first time that we did it, and there's something so deep about writing things down. And they say it all the time. But I think that this process and the order in which you write things down and the mediums that you write things down on, through this book, you evolve in the mediums that you place stuff on, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm.
And I love that because I can look back now at multiple aluminum foil sheets and be like, blot out. I did that. I did that. I did that. I did that. I love that. So we have a few more comments here. Um, let's see. Someone said that their personal, Kathleen Cross says that her personal is that she wants to travel and explore. Mine too, sister. I feel you. Emilion says, "Say it again." Yes, I assume that means that I was testifying on her marriage, so I imagine that that's what that is. And Yashima Bet says, "Personal is to consistently put fear, doubt, and worry in the back seat." Ashe.
Mhm.
Personal. Arlette says, "Patience." I love that. Awesome. All right. Well,
Well,
if you got, go ahead.
I think that you're right. You're definitely right about the 48-hour step because you guys, there are so many unemployed angels.
Mm,
There are so many of them,
mm,
and they're just waiting for a job. But the thing that we do is we keep things in our mind, and they don't read it. They don't read minds.
mm-hmm.
And so when you write it down, and then especially if you write it down and speak it, that's why all of a sudden your phone will ring and it'll be somebody from the past that's doing exactly what you want to do. Something will happen
You
that
said
will.
unemployed angels. I love that. You better go give your angel a job.
That's
You better
right.
go give your angels a job.
Yes, because they start sending you signs. They start
Yeah.
sending you things. It's just like my unemployed angel that became employed
Hmm.
sent me this platform with you. I wouldn't have never done this. I've never done this kind of thing. And I wouldn't have known this in January, this was going to happen. February, this was going to happen. But I wanted to make something happen. And then all of a sudden, this unemployed angel got a job. And now look at us doing this, together.
Cheers,
So,
sis. Preach. I heard from one of those today. I love those testimonies. Hallelujah.
yes, they're
Kelly,
there.
Kelly,
Listen.
Kelly Jackson is giving you the, oh yeah.
Yes, listen. That's why I want you to listen to the song. Listen for what you're supposed to hear. Look at the YouTube. Listen for what you're supposed to hear. Listen when that angel knocks on the door and open it.
Yes. It's okay to be afraid. That's just not
Mhm.
a good enough reason to not act.
That's
It's
right. That's right.
absolutely rational to be afraid. I think that when you're first starting to play with magic, you feel like, am I really a magician? And then when you realize that all you have to do is write it down, have space in your heart, a willingness, and then you give your angels jobs, and angels love jobs.
We love jobs.
They love jobs.
Well,
Well,
I really want to make sure that you do your assignments. You guys seriously do your assignments. If you belong to fun, would you please, when one of those angels starts knocking, you write it in there and say, "Oh my gosh, you will not believe this happened," and start sharing that and giving people hope that there are angels and they need to hear what you want.
yes, absolutely. Well, fun stands for free you now. It's not just about kicking it. I mean, we kick it, it's fun. but but we enjoy ourselves because it's all about doing the work to free your mind. Knowing that when you free your mind and you understand how your mind works, you understand how to employ angels, you know how to be available to the blessings, then you get this space of freedom, and then you're able to bless more and more people. So I am so happy to have you on the Fun Manifesto. And I'm so happy that you are helping people get free. And I am looking forward to our last installment. So, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, make sure that you go back on the Fun Manifesto. You can also go onto our YouTube channel on Fun Manifesto, and you can hear Auntie Jay's first talk. Where she gives you the first steps, and we talk more about the inspiration behind the book. Make sure that you also go back and check out Dina Alexanian. She's now done 2 talks in her 3-part series, and she's talking about tools for transmutation. So she's talking about the psychology of trauma and the psychology of healing, the chemicals in your brain. So I'm excited to continue to share with Dina on Sunday. And please, please, please make sure that you, if you are new to this community, if you just happen to get the link, make sure that you join the Fun Manifesto. Free you now.
Let me ask you this, Jennifer. Could you tell them why you did this Fun Manifesto?
Yes, I will. I love you, Auntie Jay. I created the Fun Manifesto for 2 reasons. One is because what I know for sure is that you all have talents and gifts to share with each other, and you must. And I, as an artist, got the opportunity to see all kinds of incredible people all the time in my audience. And I would say, oh, there goes that architect, and they really need to know this farmer. And there goes that, you know, grant maker, and there goes this nonprofit, and so forth. So I wanted to create a space where people could share themselves with each other, but also because in the land of social media, God bless us, there's a lot of pain and trauma. And today is a perfect example of that. That, while I was trying to go and post about this, I ran into a lot of devastation that doesn't even need to be spoken on right now. But I wanted to create a space that was safe. So when you come and you want to connect with people, you don't run into the possibility of trauma on your way. So, Fun is a safe place. It is a place where I ask that you post only joyful things, only fun things, only things that bring you light, and share yourself fully. You are safe to do so on funmanifesto.com.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we will see you again next Wednesday for the final installation. And everybody, if you have not already downloaded the book, please download the book. It is a smart move. It is useful to your life. I tell you what, it seems simple. It is simple. Do the work. And let's see. Yashima Bet says, what's interesting is that I connect the angels to others, but somehow forget that it's for me too. Definitely grateful to be on the other side of that. We are happy that you are as well, sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Chameleon says, purchase the book if you can, the printed version.
Yay, yay, yay. Thank you, Million.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will see you next week. And thank you again for your time, Auntie Jay.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you guys all for your time. It was a worthy investment in your life. I know it was. Peace.
Bye.